Kawaki versus this guy MoMoshiki part 2 is basically inevitable at this point. Now, if you were to ask me personally, I do not think I will say this. We're gonna get another full-blown fight between the two, similar to how we seen at the end of part 1 with Borushiki versus this guy Kawaki. If anything, I think we might get another skirmish between the two. Think back like with Kawaki and Sasuke versus Momoshiki, where maybe they're in the middle of a battlefield and animosity is definitely brewing amongst the two, and there's a couple of blows thrown between the two. However, a full-on fight where we have a solid winner and or a solid loser. Understanding, had not Boruto intervened, had Momoshiki had access to actually more chakra and a fresh body, he would have ended that fight fairly quickly and fairly easy. However, Kawaki came out on top to that fight due to a lot of circumstances going into play. Now, part 2 has been brewing for the longest of long time. Since this guy Kawaki woke up in the hospital bed, right? And we see this guy Naruto, and Kawaki is basically saying, don't you feel any type of way because I just came from killing your son? Since that moment there, part 2 of this fight has been brewing. Kawaki damn near enticed the entire Omnipotence arc. This entire course that we're on in TBV is damn near because of the potential of part 2 with Momoshiki versus Kawaki. The main reason I don't think we're gonna get this fight again, at least a full-blown fight between the two, is because just thinking the way things are, right? And I'm gonna say this for the video when we actually talk about it. I believe Momoshiki's next big battle will be against this guy, Boruto himself. Because just looking at all of the facts that we had and the history within the story, Boruto's main opposition, his main antagonist, right, aside from Kawaki, is this guy, Momoshiki. Momoshiki, even aside if you want to argue importance, he definitely has time against Kawaki in terms of being the antagonist to this guy, Boruto. He was introduced in the story first, he's been there longer, and he's been antagonizing this guy, Boruto, much longer than Kawaki has. So I do believe it is only fitting to have these two characters fight at least once. And it's crazy when you scratch your head and think about it, because I had to sit down and really contemplate, like, this guy Boruto has never traded blows with this guy Momoshiki, and I believe the current iteration of Boruto and Two Blue Vortex allows for the perfect opportunity for the fairest chance for this guy Boruto to arguably battle and fight this guy Momoshiki, understanding in prior moments and obviously right now they're sharing one body, so it's kind of going to be hard to do that. But even more so than that, in part 1, for a majority of part 1, most likely all of part 1, Momoshiki is confirmed, whether he's outside of Boruto's body or not, to be stronger than any version of this guy Boruto. Now, the playing field is a little bit more even because Boruto has raised his power level so much so to the point where he believes a Momoshiki controlling his body might even be the most terrifying figure or creature to walk this planet, being able to possibly handle the Shinju, handle Jura, and even then handle this guy Kawaki, despite Boruto planning and hoping on the idea that this guy Kawaki would be the one to take down Momoshiki. Now, that is really where the main consensus of this part 2 battle lies from, because this guy Kawaki has been on the hunt, the quote-unquote hunt, for the last 3 years. He hasn't done anything significant. He's only been making progress in terms of his goals and in terms of progression of power since Boruto re-implemented himself into the story post-time skip. So this guy Kawaki should necessarily be the one to root out, seek out this guy Momoshiki, and ultimately end his life once and for all. We understand that Boruto's plan with the Two Blue Vortex post Shinju, post Jura, is to have himself be killed off by this guy Kawaki, but there were certain and necessary steps needed to take for this guy Kawaki in order to basically be someone that Boruto can rely on in this matter. In the first instance was Boruto, back in the earlier chapters, telling Kawaki, bro, you need to get stronger. Simple as that, because me right now, you stand no chance against me. So if Momoshiki were to take over my body, don't even fathom of what you could possibly do. Just think about running. Even then, you probably wouldn't even be able to make it out of the vicinity. So he's like, get stronger, get your limiters removed from this guy Amato, and then we can start talking about you possibly taking me down if Momoshiki takes over. So Boruto is speaking with conviction and he's speaking with confidence, not just the fact that he's that strong, but his actions are backing up all of the words that he is stating, which is why Kawaki has no choice but to concede to Boruto's plan and his idea moving forward in the story. He understands Boruto is at a level of power that he basically can't do nothing with. Like, there ain't shit that he can really do with Boruto until he gets that much stronger. Now, we have a full unlimited Kawaki. We saw what he was able to do against Jura. We seen what he was able to do against these Momoshiki clones and how much faster and precise his attacks are actually seeming. And this guy Momoshiki is still confident that once he takes over Boruto's body, the first thing he will do is take out this guy Kawaki. Now, don't get me wrong, I believe this can definitely be a fight to take place, and it'd be a whole nother big thing like we did at the end of part 1. Yet, I don't want Boruto to be robbed of his true villain being in this guy Momoshiki. We already know Boruto and Kawaki will have a major fight. Right now, it's in the air. Is it going to be Boruto and Kawaki versus Jura? Is it going to be Himawari versus Jura? Is it going to be a whole type of group versus this guy Jura? Who's going to be the one to take down Jura? We understand Kashin Koji's prescience paints the idea that Boruto is needed to be alive in order to defeat Jura. However, is Boruto the one to land that killing blow against Jura? So, for the most part, this guy Boruto needs at least a proper one against this guy Momoshiki. So that's really the main reason. And on top of that, the Otsutsuki killer mission that this guy Kawaki supposedly put himself on within the last 3 years has had no progress, has had no merit, and no results to show for all of the words that Kawaki is spouting, even so recent, such as in TBV when he's telling Sarada he's an Otsutsuki who goes around killing Otsutsuki. That's real tough talk for a guy who's basically 1-1, and that same one counts for the same exact fight because you killed Boruto, but then he came back to life. So I don't really know how to count that. Now, as to whether this fight will or won't take place, as to who should fight this guy Momoshiki, all of that aside, looking at the facts, do we believe right now maybe that a current Kawaki could possibly take down a current Momoshiki? And it's really iffy, right? Just looking at the way both of these guys were fighting within TBV Chapter 29, we already understand, at the very least, a base Boruto is comparable to a Karma version 1 Kawaki pre-Jura fight. So, at the very least, this guy Boruto, already with his regular Karma version 1 amp on top of that plus a Byakugan, should be seeping into tiers of power that most likely Kawaki decided to seep into once he had Amato remove his limiters. So that means that a possible Karma version 1 Boruto in fully conscious control may be creeping into or possibly surpassing this guy Ishiki's levels of power, because Kawaki's body could not take any more power, and whether or not Amato added more power after the Jura fight, we'll say for sure and for certain that this guy Kawaki is way surpassed this guy Ishiki in terms of limits and in terms of power, but we know his body was specifically built and constructed to attain full attack power of this guy Ishiki Otsutsuki, not to go beyond that. So right now, a Karma V1 Boruto and the Karma V1 Kawaki that we've seen, or we could just say the Karma duo, because we don't even know the difference between V1 and V2 these days. We haven't seen the horn in either characters in Lord knows how long. So the difference between the power of these two lies more so in terms of fighting preferences as opposed to who is simply stronger or who is simply faster. Now, we're talking the speed. Based off all of the feats we've seen Boruto get through, he still might be the fastest person alive in the manga. However, Kawaki Sukuno Hikuna is something that makes it very tricky, and we already understand, at least every time we've seen up until this point, every time Momoshiki takes over Boruto's body, there is a surge, there is a jump in power. Now, we don't know, at least for the time being, how much of a difference in power between Boruto and Momoshiki there is, whether Boruto can 1v1 this guy Momoshiki on his own. However, working together, adding and combining both powers means a power jump or a power surge, regardless of however you want to look at it. So adding that into account, this guy Momoshiki might still be the one in order to take down Kawaki. He might still be strong enough in order to take down Kawaki, and Kawaki still might not have enough firepower in order to bring this guy Momoshiki down for good, especially considering that he doesn't have to worry about Boruto, quote unquote, possibly fighting or hindering his conscience and holding him back if Boruto fully concedes and gives over 100% of his body to this guy Momoshiki to do as he pleases. If that's the case and nothing is holding this guy Momoshiki back, and now he got Flying Thunder God plus all of the other stuff that this guy Boruto was able to manage, we know he created a Rasengan variant of a Rasengan variant that Boruto created. Boruto created the high compression. Momoshiki's like, fuck it, I'll do you one better. He created the Rasengan, basically shooting off the high compression as a bullet. Now Boruto created the Uzehiko, who knows what's gonna happen once this guy Momoshiki gets his hands on Boruto's full jutsu arsenal at this point. I already understand it's gonna be something crazy, and I'm really excited to see how Momoshiki decides to go about it. So for the most part, I would say it's just the difference in between right now Boruto and Kawaki, both with their karmas and dojutsus activated. It's a difference in fighting styles and preferences. The strength is really debatable. So if we add Momoshiki into the equation, he might get a power jump, a power surge. Momoshiki might still have the edge on this guy Kawaki. Yet, do you think if we see a Boruto and Kawaki, both karmas active at the same time within the next few chapters, 30, 31, 32, that Kawaki might just make a whole entire dash and forget everything else around him and try to attack this guy Boruto? We understood throughout the first sneak peek of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex chapter 29. I don't know why people thought this, but for some reason people thought this without theorizing. Maybe Mamushi can just fly. They were like, oh, Kawaki's fighting in the air. He can't be fighting Mamushi. He's obviously fighting Boruto. They're not going to give us that this soon. So we still have some time to build up to that. However, do y'all think it's within Kawaki's nature and character at this current point in time, understanding both him and Boruto have an agreement to work together, that he will randomly attack Boruto if he sees the karma seal? And even that aside, do y'all think Kawaki has what it takes to take down this guy Momoshiki once and for all, currently with both potential powers at full display? And does he have the potential to live up to his name as being the Otsutsuki killer? Let me know your thoughts below. Let me know how y'all feel about it. And when do y'all think Momoshiki's next battle will be? Holla at your boy. I'm gonna holla at y'all. Black Child out. Yes, sir. Ski.